This last part has to do with making, again, subject of the formula. It's for extended mathematics sections, but everyone can still follow through. Let's look at a question given there, an exam type of question. It says that x is given by the square root of y minus 1 over y plus 1 as a compound fractions under square roots. So under the solution, first and foremost, remember what we've stated. Whenever you see a square root bracket, you undo a square root bracket by squaring. And when you're squaring, since it is an equation, you square both sides. And this is what we've done here. You square both sides, and the square will take out the square root. And so you'll be left with x squared is equals to y minus 1 over y plus 1. And you can put the x squared over 1, and also you have now two fractions which are equal. And since a single fraction equals to a single fraction, we simply cross multiply. In cross multiplication, that will mean that x squared multiplies the denominator of the second fraction, and the denominator of the x squared multiplies the numerator of the second fraction, and this is the result. That's x squared into y plus 1 is equals to y minus 1. And now, since we are making y subject to the formula, this is a linear equation now, so it is easy to operate and to work with. So in this case now, we are going to bring all terms with y on one side. In most cases, or mostly, we prefer to put them on the left hand side, depending on the easiness of working. And then all the other elements are put on the right hand side, as you can see there. Now recall, 1 here is negative, so it still maintains its sign, and the x is coming from positive side, so it becomes negative. So negative x squared there. And so we have x squared y minus y is equals to negative x squared minus 1. So we've collected like terms together. So the next thing here is to factorize and put y out. And in this case, when you put y out, you'll be left with x squared here, and here you'll be left with 1 because y has gone out. And of course, on the other side, we still maintain a negative x squared minus 1. So then we divide both sides with x squared minus 1, and this results to this arrangement here, and whereby we cancel x squared minus 1 up and down, and on the other side we leave it like that. No, you should never attempt to cancel this x squared with this x squared, because they are not the same, right? These are not the same at all. Right, so finally we write our answer as shown here. Therefore, our y is equals to negative x squared minus 1 over x squared minus 1, and that gives us our final answer. Now let's look at the next example. In this case, we'll be making x subject to formula in this question. Here we have the root of a into x squared minus n over m is equals to a squared over b. The first step again is to remove the root sign, and here is root a. So we raise both sides to the power of a. Take note now here. So we raise to power a both sides, okay? Because this is the first direct thing we are doing here. There is no other element here which was outside the root sign which would have operated first. So we just go directly there. So raise to both sides to power a, as you can see there. And this a power a removes the root a. And so you are left with x squared minus n over m is equals to a squared over b, all of them raised to power a. Now, you may not need to go through the pains of, or through the troubles of expanding this bracket or raising everything to power a. You can just leave it like that, because you're not looking for a, you are looking for x. So the next thing, we are continuing to expose x here. So we can see that the side with x had been divided with m. So the next thing to do and do division is to multiply. So we multiply both sides, or recall both sides since it's an equation, both sides there. And so m cancels with m, we are left with x squared minus n, and the other side continues to be maintained with now m multiplying a squared over b, all of that raised to power a. All right. So going to the next part now, we have to remove n from this side. It's negative. So we carry it to the other side, it becomes positive, or we just add n to both sides. And that gives us x squared is equals to m into brackets a squared over b, all of that raised to power a plus n. And then finally, x is squared, and we want to be left with x only. So what do? We take square root of both sides, and that gives us x is equals to take square root of everything in the bracket. If you cannot be able to do this, to put this root sign, it's important for you to open brackets and write everything inside there and close with the root sign outside there. And that will give you an appropriate answer. Thank you. That marks the end of our subject today. That is subject of the formula, and want you to exercise as much as possible. If you can, exercise as much as possible. Thank you.